speak about asking people not to talk about succession.
Speak up.
You speak about asking people not to talk about succession. But when the party itself is moving around issues of succession, going with slogans 2030 and the like, and ministers of government pushing those agendas in the public, how then do you want to control the discourse of saying, let's not talk about succession, when as your party you are in the forefront having that discussion about succession?
The party pronounces itself in resolutions. And we had a conference in Bulawayo of the party. And the party is saying we are happy with the president, let him continue to 2030. So that's a legitimate aspiration from the members of the party, those who are happy with the president. Then the president says, look, I am a constitutionalist. If my 2 terms are over, I'll leave. So he has answered on his behest how far he wants to go. There's nothing wrong about a health debate on that aspect. What is wrong is for people to say, let the president be succeeded today. Because there are people who are trying to push agendas of immediate succession to the president, even when we're outside of the constitutional term limits. Why do you want to have a 31 March uprising, which you were promoting, when you know exactly that in 2028 the party will go to the elections? Why were you interviewing people who were trying to undermine the constitution and giving them a platform about where they want to go? And why were they seeking you to deliver that message? This is what offends the people in the party, that there are some people who are within who wants to circumvent the constitution, to subvert the constitutional order in Zimbabwe. Look, he was given a mandate in 2023. 2028 is still a long way off. In the meantime, he has to deliver on the mandate. And what I spent my time talking to about in the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, was exactly the president delivering on the mandate of prosperity, which was given by the people of Zimbabwe, because that's what they want. People of Zimbabwe don't vote for presidents so that they can nominate successors. That's not the business of the electorate. The electorate votes for a person who can have a manifesto which says, I'm going to make your life better. Why can't those who are coming to you, who are from within the party, who say we want to subvert, why can't they hold their jokes, their yokes? They can hold on until the time comes. There was an attempt at a premature foisting of a succession which dispenses with a president who is constitutionally elected today. And that was wrong. That's what incensed the people of the membership of ZANU-PF. They are happy with their president. They want him to discharge his mandate. He is discharging it very well, that mandate, because all the prosperity, the big projects which I'm talking about, which foist Zimbabwe on the top of even European countries in steel sectors, in lithium. This is a hallmark of a man who knows what he's doing and has got 5 years to deliver that. Give him that mandate for 5 years. Come 28, you can talk about succession.
You yourself.
One at a time, please.
Let him follow up.
Yes. You yourself led a drive. You led a drive to remove a president who was constitutionally elected, to remove him from power before his mandate was due. You removed President Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Why can't you allow others, if they so wish, to do what you did?
The reason why President Mugabe had to be removed is very clear. Along the way, he had decided to create a dynasty out of this country. So he was moving with his own succession agenda outside the context of the Zimbabwe people. He had turned his house and his household into a courthouse of intrigue against the constitution of Zimbabwe. This is what then led to those who had put him in power originally, the war veterans. We know where Mugabe came from. We know how he got to that power. We made it possible. The Mgagao document, we made it possible. The war which was fought, we made it possible. He has no particular possession of the attributes of that war. He can't say it's my war. He couldn't say it's my war. But he was taking all those sacrifices of the people and turning it into a family dynasty. That's antithesis of the revolution. And worse, when the day of 2017 comes, his appointed Minister of Justice, Hepton Bonyongwe, decides to change the Zimbabwean army by imprisoning all the generals. Hitherto, they had been staying in their barracks, not unduly concerned about what was going on. But when dockets were signed for them to be removed because somebody was riding on the dynastic pretenses of Mugabe, of course, the people of Zimbabwe and their army united, because this country is born of the unity of the people of Zimbabwe and their army. And they said, we will not tolerate this nonsense. This is the reality. If you begin to subvert the state, yourself as head of state, and that's why there is a difference between President Mnangagwa saying, I'm a constitutionalist, I follow the constitution, from Mugabe saying, my wife becomes the new queen when I'm gone. You all saw it. She was even prepared to say his grave will rule, his ghost will rule from the grave. You all saw it. You saw it. What sane country tolerates that kind of nonsense? More so, a country which went through the pains of a terrible war to restore its identity. So there's no juxtaposition between President Mnangagwa, a constitutionalist, and Mugabe, a dynastic pretender. It's said, some people say, are we revising our view about Mugabe? No, we are not. We are being consistent as revolutionaries. When the time came that a leader is no longer serving the revolution, we removed them. And our people supported the war even when leaders were removed, because leaders had tried to become entitled to the revolution. We have been dispensing with such kind of leadership as the winnowing of the identity of the revolution of Zimbabwe. That's why we are where we are today. And whenever a leader becomes bigger than the revolution, we deal with him, because that is the tradition of ZANU-PF. That's what answers your question. Mnangagwa is a constitutionalist. Mugabe was a dynastic pretender towards the end of his career. Maybe he was always, but he never showed it. But the day he started showing it, the flags went up, the red flags. And in the end, we showed him who mattered. The people of Zimbabwe and their state apparatus matter much more than any individual. Because the people of Zimbabwe and their state apparatus, they are born of the crucible of the armed struggle, which made each family lose a member. Each family in Zimbabwe lost somebody from that generation. We cannot afford any deviations from the revolutionary traditions of ZANU-PF. I hope I answer your question.
Are there any other questions?
A country that is an economy that is working failed to pay its lecturers. And the second question is that your party's provincial leadership in Masvingo and Harare proposed that Kudakwashi Tagwile be brought into the central committee. And we understand that the party leadership is currently reviewing a proposal by your political commissar, Myaladzi Machacha, to have Tagwile into the Politburo. Now, are these succession moves and matrices that are going on within your party?
I will start by the last one. Anybody is free to join ZANU-PF, whether be a businessman, whether you be a farmer, whether you be a fisherman, whatever. Obviously, the more business people we can have in the party, it means that they are beginning to acknowledge the palpable prosperity which the president is giving to the country. So if businessmen in their numbers begin to gravitate towards the party, we applaud that. We like it. Because a businessman produces goods and services which make him rich further than an individual person. So there's nothing wrong with businessmen coming into the party. If certain provinces feel that that person should become a central committee member and they send their recommendations, the party will consider those resolutions and it will come out with an appropriate decision. What would be wrong is to say we are getting into the party so that I can become that and that post, that I can become the president. because that is not the purpose of joining the party. The purpose of joining the party is to follow the constitution of the party and see to it that when succession or when succession is done by votes, that you comply with the tenets of that party. So it really depends on the individuals. If eventually the people of Zimbabwe, of the membership of the party, see you otherwise, they would have assessed you. But also don't deny them the privilege of saying they may want to see somebody in a positive manner. That's why our democracy thrives. It's a mass party, it's not a vanguard party. So it allows everybody to come into the party. Yes. But if you come on a ticket that I want power, the people may see through what you want, and that becomes a challenge. Hopefully, all the businessmen entrants who come, they come to say we want to save the party, not to save themselves. That's how I would answer that. Because saving themselves will not take them anywhere in ZANU-PF. I can vouch for that. Just like presidents who went haywire, we removed them. ZANU-PF will winnow out and people who may have hidden ambitions other than following the strictures of the ZANU-PF and its record for the Zimbabwe revolution.